The Mekong is one of the most famous rivers in Southeast Asia. It flows from the eastern Tibetan highlands to the South China Sea. Along its shores live the Tai-Dai peoples, a cluster of mostly unreached Asians who live primarily in South China, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. Despite the growing population of cities in this region, most people live in rural areas making their living by farming, fishing, and making crafts. Most people are very poor.
In my country, a lot of people don't have food. They just think about food all the time. They just make money today for the food tomorrow.
Each day is just a struggle to meet the basic necessities of their life as far as providing food, water, and shelter for their family. Many of them live in very poor shanties, anything that they can find to protect them from the elements.
Various forms of Buddhism are practiced, usually mixed with some sort of Confucianism, Taoism, or animism. Religion is deeply embedded in culture. Fear of the spirit world holds a powerful grip on individuals and families, making them extremely afraid of demons, death, and the afterlife.
Die and life is circle. Might come back to something bad or get punishment somewhere, someplace, that if you are bad people.
The people of Southeast Asia, they think they are Buddhism, but they're not. What they believe in the Buddhists and what they practice does not bring them hope. There's nothing certain. If you talk to the Buddhist monk, you will find out that they themselves don't even know what they're going to be reincarnated to be.
These are some of the most unreached peoples in the world. Geographic isolation, years of war, and communism have kept many from hearing the Christian message. But some groups were exposed to the gospel early in the last century. The founder of the Christian and Missionary Alliance was a man named A.B. Simpson, who had a great passion for unreached peoples. He was greatly influenced by Hudson Taylor, the great missionary to China's interior. Simpson was instrumental in mobilizing some of the first missionaries to Southeast Asia. His hymn, "To the Regions Beyond," characterized the challenge of reaching the hidden peoples of his day. The Alliance entered Vietnam in 1911, Cambodia in 1923, and Thailand and Laos in 1929.
The focus is on the main people, the Lao people. But after some 20 years, they have not covered. Missionaries tried to go to the mountain to reach the monk. And even though the Alliance went into Laos in 1929, the gospel won't reach the monk people until 1950.
Today, Hmong, Cambodian, Lao, and other Asian Christians living abroad are returning to their native countries to help evangelize, plant churches, disciple new believers, and train national workers. In some countries, the gospel is openly preached. In other places, work must be discreet. Several denominations and mission agencies are working in the region. Christian radio and on-the-ground efforts have had some success, but so much is left to do. Out of the 191 Tai-Dai people groups, only 54 have a Christian fellowship of at least 100 members. Years of war, communism, and the recent Asian economic crisis have made life difficult for these people. Their land is rich in natural, largely untapped resources. But unfortunately, the current political and religious systems keep these people from benefiting from their land and realizing their full potential. In the West, poverty is usually defined as a lack of things, but that approach only considers the physical side of life. The Bible describes poverty as lacking wholeness, economic opportunity, justice, education, and right relationships with God and neighbor. These realities give us opportunities to apply the gospel to all of life.
The issues have to do with discipling the nations. The issues have to do with giving hope to the nations, to communicate the character of an impartial God who equally loves all peoples.
God is interested in redeeming all of creation. He wants to redeem culture. He wants the glory of the nations to blossom like a bed of flowers in the springtime, so that the glory and uniqueness of each nation comes to its fullest. The only place that the nation is going to achieve that glory is in the meta story of the kingdom of God.